Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277 128 777. Thank you. I want you to join me listening to a hot crash or a banter between Edudzi and Vincent Ekow of the MPP, and he has assured them that accountability will surely approach or visit them at their various places one by one. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what transpired between them. Thank you.
You see, the Honorable Kudeta Blakwa has done a certain disservice to the Ghanaian people.
Which is what?
All that he sought to do was to throw about figures.
But he showed you some documentation.
Hold on, no problem. I am anticipating and hoping that the Honorable Kudeta Blakwa, within the next 1 year or 2 years, and I'll hold him to his words. And I think that this oral committee, if this is how they are going to start, is bound to fail. Because you are just throwing about figures just like that without any basis. That is why initially I said that the oral committee will be exposing themselves to defamatory acts or actions in future. See, my ministry, I'll take them one by one. The Honorable Kudeta Blakwa is saying that the drip machines that was procured by the government cost about $178 million, which he has included in the $18 billion that to him is suspicious and needs to be reclaimed by the oral committee and, if you like, by extension, the government. Now, how do you include $178 million, which is supposed to be the cost of machinery, as far as the drip project is concerned, as part of the 18 billion that you are putting out there that it is suspicious of corruption, and for that matter, you want to claim these monies? When the $178 million has not been, as it were, investigated or put out for the Ghanaian people to know the true components of what constitutes the $178 million. Now I have the contract in my hands. The contract between the government of Ghana and that of JA Plan Pool and the District Assembly's Common Fund. Now on page 20, it details the true component of what constitutes the $178 million. Number one, tipper truck equipment was labeled as $78,000. Today, let your cameraman go to companies like Zonda, all these companies who sell some of these machines, and go and ask how much a tipper truck costs. A quick check will tell you that at Zonda, a tipper truck will cost about $82,000. No, please hold on. Give me time. You gave him 1 hour.
But
he threw. No,
you
Alfred.
That he made reference to the Chinese manufacturers.
Alfred.
Shangji Automobile Holding Group.
Please.
What was that? It?
I'm saying that this is the contract, and I have it in my hand. The contract is saying that government bought a tipper truck for $78,000, and I am suggesting to you that we have some of these companies here in Ghana. I am pointing to you, Zonda Company Limited, which is around Tema. Go and ask how much a tipper truck costs at Tema. Today, it's about $82,000. How do you sum this up to $178 million and say that we need to reclaim these monies because to you, it is suspicious of corruption? How? And you throw these figures out just like that. Number two, you see a backhoe here. It has also been labeled as $78,000. Please, again, go to Zonda, go to any company, you have your cameramen here. Let's not do this to ourselves. This agenda of making government look very bad by just throwing out figures without any basis whatsoever. In Otafu, I have a tipper truck. A tipper truck was given to me by DRIP.
I see.
To embark on expansion of roads, infrastructure, and what have you. How then do you label that as part of the 18 billion as suspicious of corruption? Why do we do this to ourselves?
So would you
please hold on.
Would you be open for investigation?
So that's what I'm suggesting to you, that your cameramen, your cameramen should go to Zonda.
Be open for investigation.
Yes, because the 18 billion that you've thrown out there, that this 18 billion is suspicious of corrupt acts and more practices and what have you, lacks no basis. You have just played to the gallery, and unfortunately some people will buy into this. And that is why I'm hurt that you yourself could not even ask him very cogent question for him to explain why you are throwing some of these figures out. Number 3, water tanker, $84,000. Please go to Zonda again. Go to some of these Chinese companies across. How much is a water tanker? This is what constitutes the $178 million. Please, let's not do this to ourselves. And that is why I'm saying that the committee is bound to fail because ab initio, they are just doing politics with everything. They are not. Of course, because you see,
I've already told people how we amend the OSPR. We've already learned a lot. They cannot fail.
Please, you see, when I listened to him,
your point.
He made a comment that the tenure of this oral committee ends as soon as a new AG is sworn in.
Yes.
Please, are you saying that Ghanaians cannot also participate in any future or anticipated corrupt practices under this new government? And for that matter, we won't have, or we shouldn't have, the oral committee the same mentality that you have, that you want to use the oral committee to deal with corruption in this country. If you are going to ban it as soon as a new AG is sworn in, does it mean that?
No.
That's what he said. You are not here. Hold on, you are not here.
No,
please.
Counsel, I want you to.
You were not here.
I will actually have you respond.
He made mention of the fact that, and you, Mr. Martin Pebu, you were here when you said that you do not even trust these state institutions because there are gaps or lacunas as far as their procedures in prosecuting corruption is concerned. Are you saying that right after you end the tenure of the oral committee, it means that those gaps has been filled or what? Please, you are playing to the gallery. You should stop this. It is not right. I just saw in the presentation that the Honorable Okujeto presented to us. I saw Madam Gifty. Me, I was the National Service President of National Service persons across the country in 2013. The Honorable Edudzi Tamaklo was here. We met in court a number of times around NASPA elections and all that. At the time, the Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa was the Deputy Minister of Education, having a direct supervision and superintendent over the actions and inactions of the National Service as an agency of the Ministry of Education. What happened during his time? I was there. I was part of it. The ghost names that engulfed the National Service list.
You had ghost names in that time?
Of course. And that's what I'm saying, that I was the National Service President that he, Okujeto Ablakwa. Hold on.
Which specific case of the ghost names are you talking about?
Oh, you're not aware?
Give us details, that particular year.
When some of these directors have been prosecuted?
No, that particular year.
I am saying that in 2015 or 2014, when I was the National Service President for NASPA, that was when news broke about ghost names in the National Service payroll. And the Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa was the Deputy Minister of Education at the time, having direct supervision over the activities of National Service. At the time, it was over 300,000 people. Today, you are just making an allegation against an innocent soul, in my estimation, because there has not been any prosecution and conviction thereof. And in the event that you fail about these allegations that you are making, are you not opening yourself for defamation actions against the members of the oral committee? And that is what I'm saying, that the oral committee itself, as far as I'm concerned, may be necessary, but there was no need for you to put it out and make it look as if that you are going to fight a certain corruption, where those corruption allegations that you are even speaking to lacks legal basis.
So granted,
Number
that,
two,
for instance,
number two.
I'm coming.
Hold on, let me get to the Pualugu. You see, Afra, this is what you've been doing. This is what you've been doing. It's so unfair.
Based on
when Pebu is talking, you allow him to speak. When Okujato is speaking, you allow him to speak for about an hour. You gave him because you see, no. Let me finish.
The question.
No, I will not answer your question. I will not answer your question. Let me finish because it's my time. This is not fair. You allow them to speak. It's a show for them.
Hold on.
It's a show for the NDC.
Hold on. Now,
this is not fair.
You made a reference to what happened in 2013, 2014. I wanted to find out from you. Granted that if that happened, does that mean that this is not worth also looking
The credibility of the person saying
asking.
it is what is questioned. The credibility of the chairman of the oral committee is what I am questioning.
I see.
Because he was the one superintending over the activities of the National Service. Why don't we know what Okujato Ablakwa has done in this country? Don't we know? Do you want to go into the credibility of even the persons who have been named and mentioned as members of the oral committee?
So how much of
are we giving meat to dogs? Is that what is happening? Please, let us not do that.
I see. That's
because,
how you see it.
Yes, because you see, he has come to, as it were, throw figures around without any basis. And I'm suggesting to you that I have the contract in my hands. How do you lamp up $178 million as part of an $18 billion dollars that is supposed to be reclaimed by government?
You know, the National Service investigation was a fourth estate investigation, not necessarily.
This is something that they have adopted. It is part of his presentation. You are exposing innocent souls with their pictures without a conviction, without a prosecution. And I'm suggesting to you that in the event that you fail, you see,
they don't deny
They don't deny.
They went to court and failed miserably. They went to court and failed miserably. What kind of analysis?
My law lecturer, please let me finish.
What kind of? They went to court. The case collapsed.
When you have your time, you can do that.
What court again are they going to?
See,
give to Owari. Look at that nonsense, and you are here supporting it.
I'm not supporting it.
They went to
I'm
court
saying
and
that you are a lawyer. You are a lawyer. My senior legal practitioner is also here. Why do you hang people? When you are hanging the person. Why do you hang people when these people have not been prosecuted or convicted?
We don't need a prosecution. We can name and shame.
What you guys are doing,
we can name and shame based on the report.
Mr. Ekow, stop this. What you guys are doing with the oral committee is a usurpation of state power and state institutions. Why am I saying this? The AG and the UOCO and the special prosecutor has every legal mandate to be able to receive evidences, to be able to receive documents. This is part of the legal mandate of all these state institutions, including the CID. Please, oral committee, what is your legal basis? What is your basis for usurping state institutions as far as their mandates and powers are concerned? I'll come back to the Pualugu project. I was in Parliament when the Public Accounts Committee raised this on the floor of Parliament. Okay. I was sitting with one of the committee members who failed to catch the eye of the speaker. What the committee member told me was that, why? When you see a plane land and we say that we spent $11 million, can that be enough conclusive justification, for Christ's sake, for us to say that because you've seen a plane land there, it is corrupt malpractices or corrupt act? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Compensations can be made even when you are clearing the land. Let us not do that. This is not fair. This is what you people have been doing for the past 2-3 years. Hang people with corrupt acts without necessarily pointing to the exact things that have really happened. Please, the fact that there is a plain land means that it is flouted with corruption, just like that, without knowing what really constitutes the $11 million.
Okay, so even
demolition. Can you say that if you want to if you want to demolish a project or a building, and make sure that you pay compensations, those things that don't cost, we have to take our time and make sure that what constitutes the $11 million is explained to us as Ghanaians before we can hang people.
But does it not concern you because you were in Parliament? You will talk on the Cecilia Dapa bit.
You allowed Okujeto to speak for like an hour. Okujeto is saying that we found $1 million under the bed of...
Is it a fact or he's saying?
Please. So because of that, that is corruption. Because of that.
But what do you think? It begins points in that direction. The rule is that if you find money that is beyond somebody's income straight,
that is what I'm saying.
They are headed in that direction.
This committee is bound to fail because you are just playing to the gallery. You are playing to the gallery and you are doing politics with everything. Today, if you come to Parliament, everything has been politics. The NDC has had this as their stock in trade for the past 4 years, and unfortunately, they've won the minds of some Ghanaians. Why is it that we come to Parliament, there's another paper which did not suddenly arise for the past 3 months, that we know that the components or the line items of the other paper says that we are supposed to deal with 1D, 1F. We are supposed to deal with tax exemptions. We are supposed to deal with loans. We are supposed to deal with the approval of justices. And somebody comes to Parliament and tells you that because now we won an election, you are not the leader of government business. You have the minority side with the support of the speaker now dictating to majority side as to what should be taken on the floor of Parliament. Please, let's not do this.
But Mr. Afra, don't you think that it's actually an indictment on the intelligence of Ghanaians to say that NDC put out just the politics of it and people believed it and voted them into power?
Please, am I not giving you basis? See,
no, hold on. So are you saying that Ghanaians are that gullible?
Please, listen to, please don't put words in my mouth. No. I have just shown you. I have just shown you a contract and its terms. These are things that Okujeto started long ago. I have seen. I received a letter from the Honorable Mahama Ayariga. I was copied as a Deputy Minister for Local Government when he was triggering the Right to Information Act, seeking for the amount of money that was used for the purchase of these machines. Now, we supplied these contracts and we supplied the line items as to what constitutes the $178 million. How do you see, it is senseless for you to add $178 million as part of the $18 billion that is supposed to be reclaimed in their own estimation. It's not fair. Let's not treat people like this.
Because you're a member of
Let's not smear the integrities and reputations of people just because you want to, as it were, win the hearts of Ghanaian people just without any basis at all. You don't do that.
So when this matter of the president's travels came up in Parliament, because that's one of the issues you mentioned, when the question was asked about how much, not the president's travel schedule or the route, how much it is costing us, and we did not get those answers and the details of the cost to the taxpayer, did it not concern you? Or for you, it was okay that that information was escalated to national high-level security status?
Please, when there are questions that are asked on the floor of Parliament, sometimes you give enough time for the sector minister who is responsible,
but this one's for
or the institution that is responsible. You know what you do on the floor of the House if you think that questions of such nature has not been answered to.
No, but the answer was given. This one, I'm telling you the answer that was given.
So you were not satisfied with the answer?
No, were you satisfied?
No, I'm asking you, but were you satisfied?
No, I was not satisfied. That's what I'm asking you. You were in Parliament. Were you satisfied?
Were you also satisfied?
Look, I have
you see, let's not do that. You see, everything that we are doing,
I was not satisfied.
If you are not satisfied, what do you do as a Ghanaian?
I've challenged it through my MP. That's why you are there. Or you didn't ask the question.
All that I'm trying to say, listen to me, all that I'm trying to say, I am a Ghanaian first and foremost. I am a young man. The cry of the people, especially young men and young women in this country, is of utmost concern to me. My party, if it engages in acts of corruption, it's not something that I am going to support. It's not something that I am ever going to support. Right. But let's be very cautious of how we deal with some of these issues, so that we don't dent reputations of persons, we don't dent reputations of people without any basis. Because when you are unable to substantiate it, maybe in the words of Mr. Martin Pebu, let's name and shame. It is part of the remedies. You name and you shame, without any legal basis. When you are unable to substantiate it, at the time you have named and shamed and you have created an impression that there was a corrupt act without any basis. Let's not do that. I want on Mr. Martin Pebu, the Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa and the NDC to engage, or if you like, work on the path of fighting corruption. We will support them, but they should be able to do so without necessarily hurting integrities and reputation. Because today, it is the NPP. It can be you tomorrow. Let us not create an impression that even the oral committee, when its tenure ends, by the time that the new Attorney General is appointed, in their own words, meaning from when the Attorney General will be appointed somewhere around February or March, there will not be any suspicion as far as corruption corruption is concerned. That cannot be the case. It does not even show good faith. It's as if you just want to hang people on the altar of corruption and just dent reputations of people just like that.
A legitimate question you ask, and that's why a committee member is here. And if you're listening to me, I made that point quite clearly, that beyond just the campaign of politics, which you successfully did in 2016 and came into power, in fact, if the kind of campaign of corruption that you run against John Mahama was anything to go by, he shouldn't have even had the confidence to come and contest again and win an election. So if this is happening now, Ghanaians are wide awake to know that beyond just the campaign, we want to see evidence. And that's why this aura, we're going to follow it.
Because you've told the Ghanaian person that $178 million is fraught with corruption.
That's why I'm saying
you have told the Ghanaian person. But without letting him know what constitutes the $178 million.
Beyond just the politicking and the campaign, there has to be action in the fight against corruption.
No problem.
So we will see how this goes.
We will support them to do that.
You say you will support them?
Yes.
Okay.
But you see, you as a media personality, Afra, you as a media personality, on this you as a media personality, somebody comes to tell you that $178 million is suspicious of corruption without knowing the line item. Is that how you do journalism?
You asked the question about why their work will end when an Attorney General is appointed. Let me acknowledge the presence of, some have said probably the incoming
the incoming
is the director of legal affairs.
You said incoming.
The director of legal affairs for the NDC.
I beg you.
He's a private legal practitioner.
Stay calm.
We want you to succeed.
Oh, I beg you.
Good morning. Welcome.
Alfred, good morning. I think this is my very first time on this panel. I mean, key points after the decisive victory H.E. John Dramani Mahama. We are still celebrating the 1.7 million gap.
Eyezu.
Zuzazu. Ordinarily, we shouldn't be doing that, but maybe.
No. You've earned the right, so at least for a month or two.
No. On the Eyezu, I saw students at Winneba University choreograph the Eyezu in a very beautiful. Okay.
When they won, we were doing AC Radu. So why not?
But I think that on the vast issue of Aura, H.E. John Dramani Mahama has made the firm. The H.E. John Dramani Mahama has made a firm commitment to the people of this country that he was going to fight corruption head on. The John Mahama that I know, who could put his appointees as president to the tests, the corruption tests, to the point that his own appointee was put through criminal trial on the JIDA matters. I recall vividly the pressure to stop that prosecution. He said, no. This is a man who ordinarily was my colleague MP. But the wrongdoing must be investigated. Look, it was under H.E. John Dramani Mahama that the directors of National Service and Co. were put before our courts and charged with criminal trial. We started ORA many years ago. So when H.E. John Dramani Mahama did that, they started refunding some of the monies. And so when the commitment was made that we're going to retrieve loots the appointments of the transition subcommittee on ORA to provide the preparatory works, my friends in the MPP should not be jittery. They should stay calm. Please be calm. You understand? Just be calm. I have always maintained that a day of accountability is coming. Just stand in readiness so that when the day of accountability comes, you'll be prepared to answer it. It's a social contract we have with the people of this country, and we are going to see to its logical conclusion.
Okay.
Another important point, my brother Vincent makes the point, Honorable, makes the point that the ORA the subcommittee is bound to fail. Why? Are you afraid? If you are not afraid, you should be praying that it succeeds. Because look,
when he said he's going to support you,
okay. When I went to his constituency during the campaign. Yes. And the road network and others, I wish they are improved. If you look at monies and where our monies are going through, and what we can do with those monies, all of us should support.
Then you are not in my constituency.
All of us to support. Oh, calm down. All of us to support.
No, but in fact, let me just say this. That as for the constituency, this Otafo, I was there 3 weeks before the election because we're doing some community engagement for our community debates. There's some good roads there.
Yes. No, it's not. No. I mean, you can see that there has been some, what shall I say, some new asphaltings and others. Yes. But look, that road.
So where did you pass?
They went beyond.
He knows. That is Kwabre. I have been. Why you move on that road to the very end.
So that's a Kwabre.
In fact, I'm shocked that road has not even been dualized, because I do not know anywhere in Kumasi that traffic situations can be as horrible as his place, if you know that very well. But that's just beside the point. Look, if you look at 2016, MPP, you should be in fact, you should be happy. You should be thanking your God. I remember 2016 around this time. By January, key appointees of John Mahama, maybe for some good reason. In fact, some were made to sleep at police stations, counterback. Because I was cancelled for some of them. You have not seen anything yet, too. Relax, cry. Look, notable appointees. In fact, my own boss, who was the deputy AG then, he woke up one morning by 5 a.m. Armed men had surrounded his house.
You mean Dominic Ayini?
Yes. What was his offense? He wrote legal opinion. You went to the point of even criminalizing legal opinions. Relax. You have no idea what is coming. Stay calm. If we use the Akufo-Addo standard, most of you will be in prison. If we use the Akufo-Addo standard that he used from 2017 to date, you can't survive this country. Do you know what people have gone through and they are quiet? Look, you wake up one morning, John Jinapo is at home. Armed men with his children, the wife. Armed men storm. Fully armed with AK-47. You wake up one morning, the Honorable Kwabena Donko is at home. Armed men storm his house. And you are talking about something is bound to fail. Relax and watch. Look, like H.E. John Dramani Mahama said,
round up for me.
This is a legacy mandate. I have no doubt in the capacity of my learned senior, Martin Kwebu. I have no doubt at all. I also do not have any doubt of what Yao Domelevo can do. Do you know that from the time Akufo-Addo unconstitutionally removed Yao Domelevo, there had never been any surcharge or disallowance of the findings of the Auditor General? Now, can you explain to me how in God's name an Auditor General will say that of his findings on his audit of COVID-19, the use of COVID-19 funds, 500 million Ghana cedis was spent outside gift miss. And no action was taken from that time to date. And you think we are going to allow this to go? No. Nobody is going to do that. The Ghanaian people are watching. And I can assure you, if your fear is anything, due process will be complied with.
Well, but I asked that specific question. Mr. Sefua says they are not afraid. At least he said he is not. He said they are not afraid. They support you. Is that not what you said, Mr. Sefua?
Yes, but the right
let
have to
you see. So far, what has been done?
Okudato was here.
Wait, calm down.
Gift your warrior and others.
No, calm down.
No, basis of allegation.
No. Has this case gone to court?
You see.
He went to court, he failed.
Oh, no.
So, no.
Okay. You know, maybe the clarification here is that they went to court to seek an injunction to restrain the publication of Fourth Estate report. Wait.
And then they went
I'm coming. It was an interim order.
Yes.
And that order has now been set aside. And now the people have published the report.
And the case discontinued.
I have seen a rejoinder or something coming from NSS trying to put up an explanation. The point the Honorable Okudeto Ablakwa is making is that they have received dossier from the Fourth Estate and that they will take up the investigation. It is without, but the quantum, the amount involved is staggering. Admitted, it's staggering. So at the end of the day, everybody that should be given due process, the benefit of due process, will have the benefit of due process. So I am saying that, again, the statement from the Transition Committee captures it beautifully. It says, preparatory works toward the full rollout of the campaign promise of ORA, A, B, C, D individuals have been put together.
Okay.
Nathan Kofi Boache, very respected police officer, without doubt. The Honorable and Daniel Yao Domelevo, like I pointed out, the master of surcharge and disallowance, until he ran into issues with Nana Yao Safumafo and the entire government came after him.
Okay.
Raymond Archer, you wait. I am aware of things that are there. I mean, if you have a situation where an appointee of Akufo-Addo, within 28 months, he had almost 68 million Ghana cedis passing through his account. How are you going to explain this?
Okay.
Look, you have no idea what is coming. You calm down. Don't wish the committee to fail. Right. Pray it succeeds and recover the loot. I don't want to believe that you have any this thing. Let those who have begin to think about how they can, as it were, refund monies to the Republic.
Okay.
People need money to resolve the problem. And I trust the competence, the judgment of these 5 people that President John Dramani Mahama has put together to do this oral work.
Okay,
my understanding is that eventually the issues about, and I read your Facebook post where you went out there to say that this was already unconstitutional. I said, my brother, I realized this is preparatory work. You see the legal framework.
He's made that point, and that's why I come
you see the legal framework within which they are going to operate, and that will calm your nerves. That will calm your nerves.
No, but he asked some important questions, right, about the legal framework.
Oh, no, that is what I'm saying, that as we even speak, what is H.E. John Dramani Mahama's mandate? The mandate will come to him on the 7th of January. Yes. Once that mandate comes, that mandate allows him to appoint anybody to perform any task that he deems fit under our constitutional.
Senior, can I ask one simple question?
And that legal framework, go ahead.
My question is that, you know, within our laws, it is part of the mandate of AG, Yoko, CID.
No. Then you are getting it wrong.
I've not done. It is part of the mandate of Yoko, AG, CID, the special prosecutor, to receive complaints, or if you like, any acts or inactions or suspicion as far as documents are concerned, with respect to any corruption-related matters. That is within these mandates of these state institutions. So for me, I am saying that when we do these things overtly, we seem to be usurping the powers of the state institutions.
That's
overtly.
a premature proposition.
Overtly.
That is why I'm saying that
why
this
don't
one,
we give it to
the letter appointing the 5-member whatever is clear. It's a speaking release. It says that as part of preparatory works, A, B, C, D individuals have been put together for the purpose of making ORA. So as part of their work, maybe just to receive those information, process it, categorize it. Once the legal backing is given, they start work. This should tell you a government that is going to prioritize the issues that borders on ORA, possibly better than prioritizing the building of a cathedral. Okay. When the president says that my priority of priorities is to build a cathedral, somebody's priority of priority is to deal with the issue.
I'll give the last word to the member of the committee, because, Mr. Zwa, you asked some german questions.
Yeah, but what I wanted to add is that, please, what I wanted to add is that let no one create an impression that I am not, as it were, supporting any acts of any government or any person to fight corruption. No, I support every act, every strategy, every procedure within the confinement of the law, emphasis mine, within the confinement of the law, without necessarily denting images and reputations of people unduly. Okay. That is all that I'm saying. So let's be circumspect with how we go about this process. Let's be very careful so that we don't use it as a way of witch hunting people. Because you see, I saw a publication from Raymond Acha, he's part of the committee, right? Somewhere in 2023, as it were, signaling to Magdan that pray that the NPP will not come to power. Sorry, the NDC will not come to power. Pray that the NPP will stay in power forever. This is the person who is now part of the committee. So there are tendencies.
I get. You see, there's a famous saying in account. You see, those who cut hairs always fear to sleep supinely. Exactly. So it's because you see, you are afraid that possibly what you did, and that should be. I have not done anything. Not you. No, I'm saying that it's a lesson to you, me, Senior Martin, and everybody. That in this life, whatever you do, there are consequences to it.
Absolutely.
And so if you would decide that because you are politically connected, you go and destroy somebody's business, Raymond Acha, with the work that he's doing, is not permitted, quote unquote, to witch hunt. But if they are witches, if they are witches, okay, you hand them procedurally.
Now,
procedurally, and that I am in agreement with you. Due process, due process.
I just need some few minutes for the member of this committee because there are a number of questions. First off, why would your work end after an attorney general is appointed? That's one of the questions, first of all, you're asking, correct? Yeah. So after the AG is appointed, the status quo remains that these state institutions that are mandated to fight corruption now get on to the fight. Because essentially what I understand by the details of your work is that after you receive all this documentation, it will still go to the state institutions that you have raised questions about, that they are opaque and they have some deficiencies in their functioning to prosecute these cases. So which problem are we solving?
Yes, so what I see, I see that to that extent, in a way, the work continues. I see what you mean, because when we gather, you see, like the chairman said, we're going to give the report to the AG. That's the general one. But in the general one, there will be disaggregations. The cases that will go to Yoko will go to Yoko, the ones to police, then the ones to OSP to OSP. Yes, to that extent, it means that it's a continuation of the work. But it's a committee as a committee that would no longer function. Because you see, Honorable Kujetu showed in the plan that the government will set up the appropriate framework, right? After getting the ministers and all those people in. we will not function as a committee. But I see, I concede to that.
Said there are gaps. So will the gaps be filled right after the oral committee?
So that's why. So I appreciate that. It's good. That's why I always say matters like this. You know, democracy is crowd wisdom. So as you're all showing your perspectives, I see what you mean. That to a certain extent is a continuation of the committee's work. It's okay. Let's leave it. The most important thing is that the work gets done.
You see, Senior, my point is that you see, we have the benefit of Ghana's. Hold on. We have the benefit of Ghana's 50.
Part of your time to
you see, we have the benefit of Ghana's 50. We have the benefit of Ghana's 50.
Okay.
And we knew what happened thereafter.
Okay.
And so with the benefit of Ghana at 50, we are going to put things right.
Okay.
Look.
So that's fine. So I'll go to the next one.
So
then he said we are usurping the powers. I don't know, as if you've compelled us. It looks like this is the third time I have to repeat the arguments, but maybe I have to. Perhaps those, when I first spoke, they hadn't joined. What we are saying is that you're saying just go and give those committees what we are doing is illegal. We are saying no, you don't even accept that human beings are different. Not everybody works alone. Some people need support. And I even showed you the example of even Dr. Anamzoya, now professor. It's not illegal.
No, these are functions of state institutions.
So you can't bring me a complaint and I'll take it to OSP and it will work. I'm showing you the NDA case.
That is the mandate of the state institution.
So you don't even understand. Please, are there viewers who are psychologists? Pull out different types of personalities. You are not getting it. You only have the mindset of a lawyer. Others are psychologists. I'm telling you that human beings are different. Don't you see? There are some friends, everything they want to do, they'll come to you. Oh, I say, what this I want to do. What do you say? Will you go with me? Would you?
So should we lead this country on the basis of psychology and not law?
But you don't know that it's an amalgamation of all the professions.
So what does the law say? What does the law say? That is
the law says come and I'm telling you that.
You see, this is no, but this is a committee whose work flows directly from the Transitions Act.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying that.
So hold on. In terms of hold on. If you look at even the release from the Transition Committee, it never gave what you call terms of reference.
Yes.
So that, for instance, you say that these terms falls within the mandate and scope of, say, Yoko, OSP, or what have you. Yes. Because you see, they have been properly advised even how to couch those releases, so as not to move into the jurisdiction of any of the established state agencies. Right. These are preparatory works. Okay. So, like I pointed out, you may have some genuine reasons why you think that you should not have an organization or a committee that will work outside legal remit. But at this point, itself is not a creature of statute. Then you can accuse it of even operating outside. Right. That is why we have said consistently that this is just preparatory work at the right time. Well, but we'll come back. He's a member of parliament.
Yes, we'll come back to you. Yes. That point about the psychology, even the law recognizes psychology. That's why, for instance, you make provision for. I'm coming. You make provision.
So you had your say. Let's explain so that.
I think that if you want straight jacket, if you make provision for even the whistleblowers. Who would not necessarily want to go through
and where are they supposed to send information? Whistleblowers.
So that's why you're saying.
Are they supposed to send it to
the different shades of human beings.
Yes, you are not able to
is accommodated in law.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Take it easy.
To that extent.
And I just showed you. Do you know the NDA
make
case?
Your point.
The NDA case. Anamzoya is a professor now. That time he was PhD in Lagos. Looking for help to present this case to OSP. He didn't get until he finally found me. So you're saying the professor at Lagos doesn't know that he can just walk to OSP? No, but he could see that no. And it was good he just didn't walk in there and put it into that opaque system. You see how nature works? He went around looking for people. He went to police, they were running away. He went to some journalists, then I don't know what happened. It didn't go well. Then finally he came to me somehow. Then I said, okay. Then I took it to TV. Those days, Joy FM. Then TV3. Then later, we went to OSP. And it worked. So please, this is your thing that just walk to OSP, walk to Yoko. No, and this is not our first time. Do you know the case of Apia? Apia was a lawyer, former public prosecutor. Right. You know Apia was prosecuted. When the committee was set up to prosecute him, lawyer... Bright or the CPP presidential
Brighter Quitty
and Co. When they were in that committee, people went to the committee and in front there dropped an envelope anonymously. So some people too like to come and give their documents anonymously. Look at the huge work Okujeto is done. The oversight. There are more than 40 fights he's taking on the Snit hotels, the oversight, plenty things around. So some people want to go and give their documents to Okujeto. Others want to deal with me. You know the work Dominovo is done. You remember how look at the work. So please, please, you leave it that way. But we have to be substantiated. And please, Mr. Council, before we move on,
but you see, there's a constitutional basis for some of the things that does not require a state agency. No, relax. Read this one for me. Read Article 41 for me.
41, citizens to help fight.
No, you read Article
41. Citizens must.
But it's supposed to be done within the confinement of the law.
There's nothing illegal.
There's no set thing. So you read Article 40, Article 49, 41.
Yes, it's 41.
Part of state policy, right?
Yeah, read 41.
State policy.
No, yes.
This is the exercise and enjoyment of rights and freedoms is inseparable from the performance of duties and obligations, and accordingly, it shall be the duty of every citizen to right? Protect and preserve public property.
Hold on. Protect and preserve public property. Continue.
Yes. And expose and combat misuse.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And waste of public funds.
Yes.
And property.
Yes. So when you want to do that, what do you do?
Constitutional responsibility on Martin, Domelevo, and others. And this time they are acting
but
as a
how
committee.
do they do that? How?
Thank you.
Within the confinement of the law.
All they are supposed to do is to protect
You don't receive
the
evidences,
supreme law of the land.
which is the sole preserve of a state institution.
One last point.
But how do you protect a public property without the benefit of information?
Go inform the CID.
Understand the ambassador to Spain has not yet taken office, and people are in hotels spending about 1,550 euros in a hotel. I've seen it on social media. Please,
so we'll have to check
our ambassador to Spain. If you've not yet taken office, understand there is a residence for the ambassador. So what's her family doing in the hotel?
Maybe oral.
It's on social media. Oh yeah, lots of people are sent it.
So it will be of interest to you.
Yes, but in the meantime, Minister of Foreign Affairs, they say your ambassador to Spain. There is a official residence, and yet the ambassador's family is in a hotel. Please answer it because it's on social media.
Okay.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time and urge you to stay glued to the channel by turning the notification bell on. Subscribe as a new member as well. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.